Alright, so the scene is set. You've got your rule books, you've got your dice, and you have the perfect adventure prepped. You look across the table, excited to unveil the world that you've built for your players. But when you describe the opening scene, you get nothing but blank stares. Your combat descriptions sound like you're reading off of a tax document, and the story you were so passionate about just a moment ago doesn't seem to be connecting. If that sounds familiar, don't sweat it. You're not alone. It's a hurdle every single dungeon master has to clear. But here's the good news. Being a powerful narrator isn't something that you're born with, it's a skill. And like any skill, you can learn it. In this video, I'm gonna give you 6 practical narrative tricks that you can use as a DM. From making descriptions punchier to making combat unforgettable. This isn't about churning up some old concepts from your high school lit class. These are real tools that you can use at the table, and hopefully you can put them to use in your next game. Time for that intro. I'm Sir Bearsworth, guiding creators, shaping worlds, and forging heroes. And first up is the foundation of everything. Narrate with purpose. When your players walk into a room, it's not your job to give them an architectural blueprint. Your job is to make them feel something. Before you even open your mouth to describe the scene, think about this one question. What is the single most important thing I want my players to feel or know about? Are they supposed to feel dread, awe, curiosity? Once you have that emotional anchor, build the description around it. So instead of saying you walk into a 20-foot by 30-foot room with a wooden table in the center and a door on the far side, lead with the mood. Let's actually see an example. This one will be our blueprint version. You see a room. There's a faint dripping sound and a circle drawn on the floor. It needs a little something, right? Now let's try it again, but this time let's focus on creating a sense of unease in the party. Your stomach tightens as you step into the chamber. The air tastes metallic and a faint rhythmic dripping echoes in the silence. In the center of the room, a ritual circle glows with a faint sickly red light, burning itself into the stone cold floor. Are you seeing the difference? We focused on the emotion and that most important story detail, that ritual circle. I also used another little trick there. This one's a little freebie. I cut out all of the filtering language. Phrases like you see, you hear, you notice. These phrases create a barrier between the player and the experience. Instead of saying you see a faint drip, say a faint drip echoes in the silence. It creates immediacy and pulls your players deeper into the world, making them participants and not just observers. A classic mistake new DMs always make is trying to describe everything. You paint this perfect picture of the visuals, you detail every sound, smell, the temperature, the texture of the ground. And by the time you're done, your players' eyes have already glazed over. They probably don't even remember the first thing you said. The fix for this is what I like to call the 2 sense rule. For any given description, focus on what they can see and at least one other sense to help anchor the scene. You can occasionally sprinkle in a third if it's a truly important location, but sticking to 2 is a very efficient baseline to stay at. Our brains are designed to fill in the gaps. You don't need to do all of the work. Give your players a strong visual and another sensory hook, and their imaginations will do the rest. For example, instead of a whole paragraph describing a swamp, try it like this. Before you stretches a sprawling marsh of stagnant green-tinged water, broken only by twisted skeletal trees. The air is heavy with the earthy, sweet smell of decay. And just like that, sight and smell In one sentence, you have a clear picture and a powerful mood. Hell, I think you can even see Shrek and Donkey off in the distance. Your players' minds will automatically fill in all of the buzzing insects, the oppressive humidity, and the squelch of mud under their boots. Let's do one more, but this time for a busy city market. The street is a dizzying kaleidoscope of colorful stalls packed with exotic goods and even more exotic people. Above the chaotic roar of the crowd, you hear the sharp, rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer from a nearby forge. Sight and sound. Again, 2 senses is all you need to really bring the scene to life. This trick keeps your descriptions punchy and memorable. It respects your player's attention, delivers maximum atmosphere with minimum words, and stops you from getting bogged down in all the details that don't really matter. Hey there, quick pause. If you found those tips helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. And you won't miss out on any more DMing guides that I put out in the future. Now let's get back to it. For so many tables, combat is where narrative momentum goes to die. The game morphs from an exciting, shared fantasy soap opera into a slow, turn-based math problem. The goblin hits you for 4 points. Barbarian, your turn. It's dry, it's boring, and it yanks everyone out of the fantasy. Your goal is to turn that spreadsheet into a Michael Bay scene. You do this by focusing on intent and consequence instead of just the numbers. When a player says they want to roll to attack the bugbear, don't just tell them to roll, ask them how they're attacking. Are you aiming for a weak spot? Are you trying to be brutal and intimidate the other enemies? And then when they roll, narrate the outcome as a fluid part of the action. A miss isn't just a miss, it's a chance to add some glorious tension. Instead of, you miss, try, your arrow smacks against the stone wall right next to the goblin's head, showering it with sparks. Or, the bugbear parries your swing with its morning star. The force alone sends shivers down your arm. Suddenly, failure is interesting. Vary the length of your descriptions too. For a standard hit, keep it short and brutal. Your axe bites deep into the hobgoblin's shoulder and he lets out a guttural roar. I'm not saying it needs to be Shakespeare, but for critical hits and the killing blow on the final enemy of combat, give that player the spotlight. Use that glorious and time-honored phrase. How do you want to do this? Let them describe their own moment of triumph. It's a collaborative story, and giving them the camera in their coolest moments just guarantees their sense of power and feeling involved in the story. And don't forget the environment though. A rickety chandelier, a roaring fireplace? Mentioning these things gives your players ideas. Combat now becomes a dynamic puzzle instead of a race to 0 hit points. This next one might be the most important tip in the video. You better not click away when it's over. I still got 2 other ones. They're neat. They're cool. If you want your players to care about the story, you have to make the story care about your players. A huge epic plot about fighting a dark god and saving the world is fine, but it will never be as compelling as a story that is directly and personally tied to the characters at the table. And this starts with their backstories. It's why Session 0 is so important. Before the campaign even begins, read the backstories, internalize them, and then find ways to use it against them. Did the rogue's parents vanish years ago? Maybe the leader of the local cult wears a signet ring identical to the one her father used to wear. Did the cleric's home temple get ransacked by a rival faith? Maybe the villain's top lieutenant is a priest of that faith. When you weave a player's backstory into the main plot, you are sending a powerful message. Your character matters. Their past isn't just a few forgotten paragraphs. It's now an active part of the world. This creates personal stakes instantly. The quest is no longer about stopping a generic bad guy. It's about finding answers, getting revenge, protecting a legacy. This also applies to their goals. Ask your players what they think their characters want. Does your fighter dream of being a famous hero? Have NPCs in the local tavern recognize them and start recounting their epic deeds? Does the wizard seek a lost piece of arcane lore? Seed rumors of a hidden library that could hold the key. And maybe it just so happens that the big bad sends his people there. Listen, they can't accomplish their goals for free. They gotta work for it. But by tying the adventure's goals to the character's personal ambitions, you guarantee their investment. They're no longer just passengers along for the ride. They're in the driver's seat. And oh boy, you better buckle up. Let's talk about one of the biggest narrative sins a DM can commit. The dreaded info dump. You have all of this amazing lore and intricate story and you are just dying to tell your players. So you have a wise old NPC tell the players about the entire history of the world, the villain's complete plan, and the 3 steps that they have to do to stop him. Did you see how I was actively deflating while doing that? As you're talking, their eyes are completely glossing over. Here's the secret. Players don't want to be told a story. That's for bedtime when you're tucking the homies in. They want to discover it. Your job isn't to be an author delivering exposition. It's to be a co-conspirator in creating a mystery. Instead of giving them all the information at once, give it to them in small, tantalizing pieces. Let them find cryptic notes, overhear whispered conversations, and piece it together themselves. This approach is going to make your players feel like brilliant detectives. When they finally connect all the dots of the villain's grand plan, and they did it on their own, that sense of accomplishment can't be beat. It's their theory, it's their discovery, and that's 1,000 times more satisfying than just being told the answer. NPCs are going to be your best friend here. Instead of a quest bot that just gives them all of the answers, create NPCs with limited perspectives, personal biases, and secrets of their own. The blacksmith might know that a shady noble has been buying up all of the iron in town, but he has no idea why. The town guard may have seen some figures over by the ancient ruins, but was too scared to investigate on their own. Each piece of information is a breadcrumb leading your players deeper into the story, encouraging them to ask questions, and allowing them a chance to engage with the world on a much deeper level. Our final tip is a simple habit that ties all of this together and fundamentally changes the dynamic at the table. After every description, every narrative beat, every NPC interaction, end with one simple question. What do you do? I think I may have hyped that one up a little bit too much, but hear me out. That simple phrase is a pivot point that takes the spotlight off of you and puts it directly onto them. It's a clear invitation for them to act, to make a choice and drive the story forward. It turns them from a passive audience to active protagonists. Think about it. When you describe the glowing ritual circle and end with, "It pulses with a low, hungry light," it just kind of leaves a little bit of awkward silence in the air. The players may not be sure you're done talking, but ending with, "It pulses with a low, hungry light." What do you do? Now that's a direct call to action. It empowers them. This is especially crucial if you're a new DM and you feel that pressure to fill the silence. Let your descriptions breathe and cap it off with a question. It creates a natural rhythm to the game. You present a situation and then wait to see what their response is. It's a constant reminder that this isn't just your story. This is our story, and your choice is what matters most right now. So there you go, 6 simple narrative tricks to level up your DMing. Narrate with purpose, the 2 cents rule, making combat cinematic, making the story personal, build mysteries instead of lectures, and always, always, always end off with a question? Look, becoming a great narrative DM is not going to happen overnight or after watching this video. And that's totally okay. The key is to be intentional. Keep practicing and always put your player's experience first. These are just tools for your tool belt. See if you can put them to use and hopefully you can create some unforgettable stories together. So, what are some of your favorite narrative tricks, either as a DM or stuff you've seen as a player? Let me know down in the comments below. I love reading your guys' stuff, and it always gives me ideas for cool new things I can try out in my game. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sir Bearsworth, guiding creators, shaping worlds, and forging heroes. And I'll see you all at the table. Bye.